If you've ever wanted a ridiculously good overdrive sound without breaking the bank, then look no further. Because today, we've got 3 different pedals that do exactly that. We're going to go through each one individually and hear how they sound and why I love them so much. So let's get into it. I think as far as guitar pedals go, overdrive could possibly be, maybe, the most important pedal there is. Unless you've got a tube amp that you can really gain up and give you that sound, then I think that it should be really one of the first pedals that you look at buying if you want to. Even if you do have a tube amp that you're really driving to give you an overdrive tone, then surely at some point you're going to want a clean sound when you're playing live. And unless you're loaded and you can have 2 different A/B amp setups, then that is time for some overdrive. I think sometimes as self-certified tone hunters, we often think we have to spend big money to get good tones. But luckily, in the overdrive world, that is not true. And so the first pedal that we're going to look at today is the Soul Food, made by Electro-Harmonix. I think this is a really, really great pedal. According to Electro-Harmonix, it's a transparent overdrive that's actually based on the Klon, but unless you've got $5 to spare, then you're probably not getting that, so maybe this is a good option. It features a tone, volume and gain knob on it, which is pretty simple, and it can go from really transparent sounds, like I said, or you can get some more out of it if you really push it. Like I said, the Klon's like £5,000, and I don't have anywhere near that sort of money, so I've never actually played one. So I don't know if this does get really close to it. I've heard sound clips, and this thing sounds great, so let's have a listen to how this sounds, and then you can make up your mind whether it sounds anything like that pedal. There we go, that is the first of the 3 overdrive pedals that we're looking at today, the Electro-Harmonix Soul Food. I think this is a really, really nice transparent overdrive that doesn't break the bank. You can pick them up for about £95 online at the moment. I'm not sure whether it sounds like the Klon, because I've never played one. Maybe I'll get to one day, but I think it sounds really, really cool, especially through that new Marshall. I think the mids just really kind of shone through, but that Marshall's great too. That's another video. Anyway, I think this is great. This was lent to us from a friend to use, and we put it on some recordings recently and it made it, so it can't be all that bad. Moving on to my second affordable overdrive pedal is this, the Earthquaker Plumes. I love this pedal. This is actually the overdrive that I use on my board at the moment. Every time I go to something else on recording, I find stuff that sounds great, but I think this one's just the best all-rounder that I've got at the moment. But let's get into it. It features 3 different modes. The first one is apparently the crunchiest setting. Earthquakers say that it's like a tube amp being really driven, and who doesn't want that? Because everyone loves a tube amp, right? The second is like a clean boost. You know when you're playing live and you think, right, I've got to come from the chorus and then drop down back to my clean sound, but then you do, and you disappear and the rest of the band kind of eats you up. Well, that's what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to just allow your clean to just be higher in the mix and then cut through. But also, I think this will work really well on amps that don't have an individual gain knob and it's just the master, because then you could just hopefully drive those tubes without having to have your amp ridiculously loud, and then it would just give that breakup off your amp, which I think would sound great. My personal favourite mode on this pedal though is number 3, and this is the one that's apparently meant to sound most like the Ibanez Tube Screamer. According to Earthquaker and other people online, it does actually sound better. I'm not sure whether it does, but this is basically the setting I always have it on. Maybe I need another one to kind of do the stage 2 where I can have the clean sound, but anyway. The settings I normally have this pedal on are sort of 10 o'clock on all of the different knobs and on that third setting, and I think that it just really sounds great as a bass before any other distortion gets added, and basically I barely even turn it off when I play live. That brings us to the conclusion of the second affordable overdrive pedal, the Earthquaker Plumes. Like I said, this is the one that's on my board at the moment. I think this thing is really, really, really cool. I looked, and at the moment I found one for about 85 quid, so they are under £100, which is what I was kind of aiming for with this video. If you do get one, try out all the different modes. Like I say, the third one's better for my setup, but maybe that's to do with my guitar and amp, I'm not sure. But I think maybe I need to buy another one so that I can put it to the middle and keep my cleans higher, which I didn't know about before doing this video. So, there we go. That is the Earthquaker Plumes. This brings us on to the third and final affordable overdrive pedal. It is the Lateral Sound Dead Blow. Now, this isn't actually strictly an overdrive. Lateral Sound are a company from Western Supermare, which is actually just down the road from me, really. We had another pedal by them, it's called the Fuzz Fix. I'll probably do something on that at some point as well. But I think this thing's so good that I actually made a video on it about why it's the best distortion pedal that you've never heard of. Lateral Sound say that this is an overdrive mixed with a fuzz, and I kind of agree. Like, I know that sounds really weird, but if you kind of back it off, which I'll show you later, it can do really kind of transparent overdrives, especially with turning the volume down on the guitar. But then if you crank it, it's a beast on its own. It features just two knobs on this one. One is force and one is impact. The force is basically a volume, and this thing is really loud if you turn it up. We only ever really have it sort of 10 o'clock because it's just a beast. But anyway, you can absolutely crank it if you want to. And then impact is basically a gain knob, but also it dials in more low end as well. I think Lateral Sound said it was basically like a mixture between gain and a filter that just adds in more lows. But let's have a listen to it and pop it on a couple of different settings and hear how it sounds. There we go. That concludes the 3 amazing overdrive pedals that sound awesome but don't break the bank. Like I said at the beginning, sometimes we get caught up thinking that we have to spend ridiculous money to find good results, but actually that's not true, particularly in this kind of overdrive world. These companies are making amazing pedals for about 100 quid that you can pick up and really kind of add some good overdrive to your sound. If you've liked this video, then please subscribe, it would mean the world. And also, if there's overdrive pedals that you're really liking, please drop me a comment in the comment section and then I'll have a listen and then hopefully I can do a video on them too.